I'm Bea Hernandez, and I'm here with my former teammate, Aziza Antonio. Her and I played college volleyball together, and I came to interview her because during my first year playing, she hurt herself, tearing her ACL, causing it to be a long-term injury. I will be discussing the emotional and mental aspects and effects from that injury in this interview. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aziza Antonio. I played volleyball at Pierce College and I just graduated from CSUN last year. While I was at Pierce, I injured my knee and now I'm on the road to becoming a physical therapist.
Okay, so what was your most significant injury?
My most significant injury was my second year at Pierce College. I tore my ACL, my MCL, LCL, and my meniscus in my knee. It was during a practice. There was 3 of us on the court. I got set a really tight ball and I went up to hit it and I landed on one leg and I couldn't get up from there.
So what were your initial feelings and thoughts after it happened?
The very moment that it happened, I realized that I landed weird. I was on the floor and I couldn't get up. I've never injured my knee before, so I didn't really know what to think of me being stuck on the floor. When I got up, I ended up limping. I realized I couldn't put that much pressure on this leg, and I was looking at my legs and I noticed that my quad muscles that were really defined on my right leg wasn't as defined on my left leg. You couldn't even see that I had any muscles in my thighs, so I was really confused and I went to urgent care that day. They told me that it was probably just a sprain. 3 or 4 days I should be back on the court. My coach told me the worst case scenario would be a meniscus tear. And so I had high hopes that, it wasn't going to be a long-term injury. A couple weeks later, I ended up getting an MRI from one of our teammates' dads on the team, and they sent like an email saying like, oh, your ACL was torn and your meniscus was torn, and it was just an email of like all these things that I tore in my knee, and I showed it to my coach, and my coach was like, nah, it's fine, like, don't listen to that, it's so unofficial, go to a real doctor. And so I still believed him, and I'm like, you're right, that's so wrong, like this guy who owns a whole medical facility doesn't know what he's talking about, like let me go to a real doctor, just because I didn't want to believe that I tore my ACL. And when I finally went to my doctor, it took about a month and a half for my doctor to actually tell me what was wrong with my knee and give me an MRI and whatnot. She told me that I tore my ACL and my LCL and my meniscus and my MCL. The ACL is what actually causes the injury to be super long-term in terms of recovery, because you're out for about 6 to 9 months after your surgery. So when I found out that I actually tore my ACL, I didn't even know how to feel at the moment. I just knew that I wanted to try and find a way to not have to do the surgery. Like I wanted to try and find a way to be able to come back without having to go through surgery, just recover, do rehab or something, and get back on the court. And eventually I kind of just had to accept that that was impossible, and I ended up just getting the surgery.
How did you feel knowing that was supposed to be your senior season for junior college?
That was the part that really sucked. The fact that my first year at Pierce, we didn't do too good. And a little background about Pierce, they won state championships 3 years back to back to back. My year, we came in, we lost. It was a horrible season. And my preseason, I was working so hard to become like the best at my position so that we could get ready to come back and win a state championship. And I was in the gym like 6 days a week for hours, like going in the morning, going at night, trying to get better. And when I found out that I tore my ACL and I wouldn't even be able to play in that season, that's the part that hurt the most, and that's the part that made me really almost like depressed, honestly. Like I feel like I did go through like a moment of depression. I was at home, everyone was trying to, tell you like it's okay, like everything happens for a reason and whatnot, and I was just trying to ignore all of them, and I kind of went home and didn't talk to anyone for a few weeks just because I needed time to accept everything. And yeah.
What emotions did you feel when you were in rehab?
By the time I started rehab, that's when I finally accepted that I can only get better from here. I wasn't sure if I was going to come back stronger or if I was going to come back weaker, but I feel like that was all a mindset thing, and if I told myself I'd come back stronger, I'd be able to come back stronger. So I was just very motivated. My team was doing really good during the time, and they were #1 in the state the whole season, and I was kind of just motivated to like try and rehab super quick so I can come back and somehow play during that season if I could. And that was my main motivation, to do my rehab, do everything I could to get back on the court.
So during rehab, did you utilize mental skills to help you through the process?
Definitely. It was all, like I said earlier, it was all a mentality thing. Like, you couldn't, at that time, you can't be focused on all of the, oh, if I did this, then maybe I wouldn't have gotten injured. Like, you just have to accept it and find a way to prepare yourself to get better and hope that you come back better.
So what coping mechanisms and support systems did you use during that time?
All my teammates were there for me, and the best thing was that my coach offered me the weight room. So the weight room was open for me to go in there and do my own rehab whenever the team was practicing, and that was good because I was able to go in there and get on the treadmill and do all the little things that they told me to do for rehab. And yeah.
So how did you feel going back into the court?
The first time I got back on the court, I was ready. I was like waiting for it for the whole 6 months that I was off. So I was super excited to like get back, and I kind of just wanted to start jumping and doing everything that my PT told me not to do, but I had to control myself and take it one step at a time. I was super excited, and it was probably a really good feeling knowing that I came back and was able to still be strong with it.